Basketball coach, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Basketball Network.
This is the Warriors Basketball Pregame Show on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And a good Thursday afternoon as we come to you live from the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium and the Claude Beyer Court. It's Amityville Warriors boys basketball as they get set to take on the Deer Park Falcons. Welcome to the pregame show today on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We appreciate you joining us this Thursday evening as this should be a great contest, an early battle this year for first place in the Division III Section 11 standings. Once again, good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Grice. I'm joined by Lucas Torres and Lucas. Amityville with their new old coach in Jack Agostino has to be happy where they are right now this season. They are coming off of 2 losses in their previous 3 games, 2 of them being in non-league contests. But the Warriors right now are 7-2 overall, and more importantly, 3-0 in league play and sit all alone atop the standings.
I think with them sitting on top of that throne as of right now, there's going to be a lot of competition in these next few games now that we're entering that almost halfway point in the season.
And as the Warriors approach the halfway point, they want to ensure that they continue this momentum with what they've been able to build. I think that this is a team that probably everybody in the league except for Agostino and his players maybe felt that they're overachieving a little bit. But Amityville has shown that they are ready to break out. They're in the process of doing that, really. And maybe some weaknesses have been exposed over the last 3 games, and Coach talked about that. We'll get to him in a little bit. But let's talk about what Amityville has done in the last few weeks, starting with their last couple of games, non-league contests, the last couple of games in 2022.
In that case, we have 2 losses, one at Baldwin and the other one at St. Dominic. Both pretty tight games, especially within St. Dominic's, 51-59. Overall, it was a pretty close game, and that aggression is always there, and we could see that St. Dominic's got that overcoming factor. But again, that's a school that's not in their league, and it's one of those things that that Amityville is still getting used to and still developing with. Especially since, again, it's a Catholic school, whole different league, whole different type of play style that they're seeing and they're not used to. But as we're going to get to with Agostino, he mentioned that they're using that as time to develop as a team and learn new things.
One of the reasons why coaches do schedule non-league games, and some teams and coaches do it more than others, is that they are trying to up the competition for what they may normally see within their own leagues. And as the old cliche goes in sports, you only get better by playing against teams that are better than you. So Amityville the last several years have been scheduling a lot of non-league games, especially against private schools. And some of these teams are very, very good. So despite the fact that Amityville lost both of those games, I am sure that as a team they grew, they gained some confidence, and maybe more importantly for the long haul, they exposed some of their weaknesses that they need to continue to work on. So far this year, we've seen a lot of positive things, but there are certainly some areas of their game that Amityville can improve.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that improvement happening here in this game. As you mentioned, Amityville has been scheduling a lot of these non-league games. I think that's mainly due to them wanting to see where they could fit in their development as a team, just seeing how their court work could and what they could do, both offensive and defensively, whether it be slashing into the paint or anything. Overall, I think that's what they're trying to get at, especially with their new head coach, Agostino. He's been in the league for so many years at this point that he's kind of seen it all, and he wants to put his new team into a league so he could see how they're playing and at what level they can function.
Coach Agostino 4 wins away from career win number 500, so he is climbing the ranks, and that's with an 8-year gap between his last games coaching here for Amityville. Let's take a look now at what Amityville did in their first game of 2023. This past Tuesday, they visited Kings Park. Kings Park has been one of the better teams in the league the last several years and has given Amityville some trouble over that time. It was a very tight game for Amityville. They ended up squeaking out the win 51-48, a feel-good road victory, but certainly that one was not easy for them to accomplish.
As you said, it wasn't easy, and I think we could see that, especially in that first quarter. We usually see Amityville coming off extremely aggressive and with their full court press, trying to get that fast break and just break straight to the hoop. But in that first quarter, they fell short with only scoring 9 in that first, which I think we're going to see them try to fix and just kind of patch up in this game.
The second and the fourth quarters were both won by the Warriors. Third quarter, their best offensive output was a tie, 17-17. So the Warriors were able to get it done at the end, but they don't win that game. They don't get it done at the end of the game without their best player coming through.
Speaking of both teams, we saw against Amityville and Kings Park that overall the Amityville team has been doing a lot of work, especially Christian Smiley in that last quarter. He had a baseline runner with 11.2 seconds left to give. Smiley also had 13 points and 10 rebounds after hitting 2 clutch free throws in that game.
Christian Smiley, maybe the lone sniper on this Warrior team. A lot of slashers. Their guards are great. They cause turnovers, fast break points, easy layups. But Christian Smiley is the guy that can get it done at any point on the court, and he does what a leader does. As you said, he bailed his team out in the last game. Today's game, even bigger. Every game gets bigger as the season goes on. We mentioned before in the standings, Deer Park, 6-3 overall. They are 4-1 in league play, so they are currently in second place, 1 game behind the Warriors atop the Division III standings. We'll break that game down in just a moment, but first, our very own Lucas Torres had a chance to sit down with Coach Agostino a few moments ago.
Of the varsity boys basketball team, Jack Agostino. How are you doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. You are undefeated in league games, but you did recently get 2 non-league losses. How will these non-league games help your team improve?
Well, I tell you what, you get to learn a lot from a loss, and we definitely see some weaknesses that we're working on, and hopefully we get them right for the rest of the league season.
So, new coach, new team. How have you seen the chemistry develop now that we're nearing the halfway point of this season?
Oh yeah, we're with each other a lot. I would have to say we're like a family, and with a family, you have good times and you have some bad times. So we're learning to make those adjustments, and the bottom line is we're all in this together, and I definitely see that happening.
Deer Park is only 1 game behind Amityville in the league standings for first place. How closely are you watching the standings at this point in the season?
Honestly, it's just I'm on to the next game. We had a great win at Kings Park on the road. I was very happy about that. But as soon as the game ended, I remember saying to the players, on to the next game. We don't have time to really look in front of us or behind us. We just got to stay in the moment.
So you're looking at the key games right as they are?
As they are, yes. Today is the only day that matters to me. In fact, the only possession is the jump ball right now. It's the only thing I'm thinking about, 1 possession at a time.
Deer Park is a team Amityville hasn't seen in many years. When preparing for this game, do you focus more on the team playing their own game or on preparing to play against Deer Park style?
No, I love that question. You have to do both. You have to, I watched a lot of tape on Deer Park. Like after the Kings Park game, I got home maybe 10 o'clock. I watched tape on them from, say, 10:30 to 11:30. Then I watched it all morning, which is nice to be retired. I got a little extra time, so I can watch a lot more tape. But we have to do what we do best, and we have to defend what they do best.
All right, last question. What are your keys to victory for today's game?
Well, I don't think they really change. We have to be unselfish with the basketball and offense, not give the ball away, really have limited amount of turnovers. We played Kings Park. If we stay under 10 turnovers, we're in great shape. So if we limit that, and then we need those fast break points. We have to get fast break points. We're still always struggling in a half-court offense, but if we can get some easy fast break points, we should be fine.
All right, thank you so much.
You got it, my friend. Excellent. You guys do an excellent job.
All right, that was head coach Jack Agostino. We appreciate him joining us for a few minutes just to talk about today's game. Exciting game coming up as the Amityville Warriors and the Deer Park Falcons have both taken to the court here. As we're getting ready to bring you Warriors basketball here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice, Lucas Torres. We're a few minutes away from tip-off, and we have to break down this game today between Amityville and the Falcons, a game that we said is for first place. And with that being said, we would also like to welcome in the third member of our crew today, Erin Kruder, who is standing along the sidelines with a report.
All right. Hi, I'm Erin Kruder from the Amityville Broadcasting Network. A very exciting game tonight with both Deer Park and Amityville coming off recent wins on Tuesday. Deer Park is 4-1 in league and Amityville is 3-0. Let's see how this game turns out. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Erin. And we have to start by looking at what Deer Park did in their last contest, Lucas, a game in which it's a pretty solid win at home, 58-47 over Hop Hog.
And we could see off the bat with that pass game from Deer Park that in that first quarter they won 8-14, and they stayed pretty consistent up until the third quarter where they again took that lead. And looking at the stats here, we could see that they're a very offensive and defensive team, especially when they're clashing at the board. A lot of their team has that high assist, high rebound rate, and we're going to see that a lot throughout this game.
One of the interesting matchups today, I think, to watch. The Warriors have some really good guard play. They have their go-to man offensively, which is Christian Smiley. I'm sure we'll be calling his name out a lot this evening. But one of the advantages that the Falcons have is that they are very well balanced offensively, led by senior forward Nate Gordon.
Speaking of Nate Gordon, he had 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 3-pointer in that previous game. And overall, we can see that the Deer Park team is very together and likes to get the ball around between all their players, especially with the assists. We had plenty of players with points and assists in that game.
Deer Park has not been in Amityville's league for quite some time now, so this is the first time that these two teams are meeting up in the regular season in a very long time. So they haven't seen each other. But Lucas, what do you think your keys are for Amityville to come out with the victory today?
So far, I think that Deer Park knows that this is going to be an aggressive team, since right now Amityville's sitting on that throne after coming off of a few victories already, and Deer Park is going to challenge them for that top.
You've been watching the Amityville Warriors boys basketball pregame show on the Amityville Broadcasting Network, but don't go anywhere, as tip-off coming up right after this on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
After 2 non-league losses, the Amityville boys basketball team is coming off a key league win against one of the Division III staples, Kings Park. The victory puts the Warriors all alone atop the standings. But today's visitors, Deer Park, is right on their tail, 1 game back. Will the Warriors successfully hunt the Falcons, or will Deer Park fly away in first place? Find out now on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
This is Christian Smiley, small forward for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
It's time for Warriors Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And a good evening, and again, welcome to the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium as we get set to bring you Warrior Basketball as they host the Deer Park Falcons. Matt Grice, Lucas Torres, Erin Kruder on the sidelines for us today. We're just a couple of minutes away from the opening tip, and this game has some juice to it as it is a battle, Lucas, for first place.
The biggest thing the Falcons have going for them is getting that ball around, especially outside and inside the paint. Overall, we've been seeing that consistency with Deer Park's assists and rebounds and clashing of the boards.
Should be a fun one. Let's get you the starting lineups. We'll start with the visitors. The Deer Park Falcons starters: number 2, Davion Martin; number 14, Nate Gordon; number 15, Tyler Kewen; number 22, Nolan DeLargy; and number 23, Bill Murphy.
One of those key things that are going to be a common theme for the Falcons in today's game is going to be the clashing of the boards.
We'll give you Amityville's lineup in just a moment, but for now, we go to a PA address announcer as we get set to bring you today's rendition of the national anthem.
And move your hats if you can, as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
We gave you Deer Park's lineup. Now let's take a look at the Amityville Warriors. Number 1, the junior guard, Savell Williams. Number 2, senior forward, Justin Thornton. Number 4, junior guard, Sherwin Johnson. Number 20, senior guard, Nick Brown. And number 24, junior forward, Christian Smiley.
The big thing for the Warriors that they have going for them is that full court press that they just become absolute pickpockets for any team, and that overall aggressiveness. They're going to be slashing into the paint, and they're going to be working the ball on the outside as well.
We are just about set for the opening tip here. Warriors and Falcons, a battle for first place. Yes, there's a long season to go, but the Warriors trying to establish themselves as one of the better teams in the league. Both teams take center court. Getting ready to jump for the Warriors, Christian Smiley. And for the Falcons, Nate Gordon. Probably the 2 key players to keep an eye on for this afternoon. The referees check with both sides, and we are ready to go. Smiley wins the tip. Here comes Williams driving to the basket. Shot doesn't go, gets his own rebound. Smiley pulls it back out to the far baseline, and the Warriors will send it around the world to slow things down. It's Williams, right wing. Dribbles, bottom of the circle. Amityville setting up the offense. Looking for a screen. Williams still has it. Dribbles right side, finds Smiley in the paint. Back to Williams. Kicks it out. Brown thinks about a three-pointer. Top of the key, Smiley. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Here's a 3. Too strong by Thornton. And the board pulled down by DeLargy. No score here, the opening minute. Warriors and Falcons. Kewen has the ball, looking for a screen, trying to find some help. Does, gets it to DeLargy, drives in the lane, shot doesn't go. Pulls down his own board in the paint, but it's swatted away by the Warriors. Sherwin Johnson taking it himself, runs into a wall, finds Brown for 3, and drills it. Nick Brown gets the Warriors on the board with a splash from downtown. It's 3-0 Warriors. Just under a minute gone by here in the first.
We're already seeing a very aggressive game so far, even in the first few seconds of this matchup.
Kewen has it tipped away by Thornton, tries to chase it down. The ball will go out of bounds. Good effort by Thornton, but possession will go back to the Falcons. Falcons coached by John McCaffrey, assistant coach Josh Smith and Mike Chin. Warriors, of course, head coach Jack Agostino, and assistant coach, his brother, Anthony Agostino.
We're only in the first few seconds of the game, and we're seeing both the Falcons and the Warriors just aggressively going after the ball.
3-0 Warriors on Brown's three-pointer. Davion Martin has the ball in the paint. It goes out of bounds, and the officials point to the right, which means Amityville basketball. Cheerleaders are in attendance today. Their first home contest this year for the boys basketball team. Backcourt pressure, full court press on, and now the Falcons pull it back as Thornton brings the ball up the court. Deer Park trying to give the Warriors a taste of their own medicine. Savell Williams takes over the one-guard spot. Bottom of the circle. Warriors set up their offense. Finds Johnson, right wing. Looking for a cutting Thornton in the paint, up with the right hand. Strong off the backboard, no rim. Rebound pulled down by Nolan DeLargy. Q1 has it, hands it off to Gordon. Gordon passing around the world, it's Martin. Martin drives. Back to Q1. Shot from the left, low blocks, doesn't go. Loose ball in the paint. Rebound pulled down by DeLargy, and we get a whistle and a foul underneath. This is going to be something else, Lucas, that we're going to have to pay attention to, and that's going to be the battle on the glass.
As you said, that battle of the glass is going to be a real game changer and a determining factor here in today's game, especially when it comes to the outside threes or just overall clashing inside of the paint. We're going to see that as a common theme for both the Warriors and the Falcons, especially as we've seen, Deer Park has a habit of just snagging those rebounds, but the Warriors are going to put up a good fight for that ball.
DeLargy goes 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. DeLargy coming off a really good game against Hauppauge where he put 10 points on the board. One man in the backcourt for the Falcons as now they back off. 3-2, 5:49 to go in the first quarter. It's Williams, bottom of the circle. Guarded by Murphy. Finds Johnson, right wing. Cross court, back to Williams. Williams drives in the paint, and we get a traveling violation. Turnover for the Warriors. Another key point. Coach Agostino talked about this. He wants his team to try to keep turnovers under 10. Here comes the very well-known now Warrior press. Falcons able to break it. Murphy with the ball, right side, long three-pointer by Denisi, who's fresh in off the bench. That doesn't go. Here comes the Warriors looking for a fast break. Williams loses the handle, stolen away by Gordon. Gordon taking it to the lane himself. That one doesn't go. And Thornton brings down the board. Johnson now for the Warriors in the paint. And they're going to call an offensive foul, a charge on Sherwin Johnson. Back-to-back turnover for the Warriors as they lead 3-2, 5:09 to go in the first quarter.
We're seeing this very aggressive play style both by the Falcons and the Warriors, especially with the Warriors full court press, but they're almost backing into an outside zone, trying to force the Falcons into an outside type of play.
Martin carries the ball into the front court for the Falcons. In front of the Warrior bench, hands it off to Murphy, top of the key, in between the leg dribble, gives it back to Gordon. Gordon in the corner now to Denisi. Left wing, bounce pass. Oh, Denisi has it. Long three-pointer off the front of the rim. That won't go. Another long three-pointer by Denisi, and the Warriors get possession. Brown has it, looking for help, and finds Williams, who once again will slow the pace down. 3-2. Warriors, 4:33 gone by here in the first quarter. And that pass, ill-advised, tipped away. Williams able to chase it down to the backcourt, get it back. Finds Johnson. Johnson, pull up 10-footer. That doesn't go. Smiley trying to tip it back to Johnson. And instead, the rebound is pulled down by Nate Gordon. Here comes Deer Park. It's Gordon. Gordon thinks about driving. Pulls up a long two off the back of the rim. Doesn't go. And Smiley gets his first board of the game. Halfway mark of the first quarter. Not a lot of offense. The only points for Amityville so far, a three-pointer by Nick Brown. Williams has it. Right wing, dribbles once. Finds Brown, baseline. There's Smiley in the paint, spins around with the left hand, and that one rims out. Rebound pulled down by Murphy. Murphy pushing the pace, gets it over to Martin. In the paint, left side, right hand, and smacked away by Christian Smiley. Out of bounds, it will be Falcons ball. The Warriors have a chance to regroup defensively.
Again, already with the Amityville Warriors, we're seeing here a common theme with Christian Smiley. A very aggressive player, both offensively and defensively. And we just saw this here with his first block of the game.
Kewen will inbound. Kewen gets it left side to Denisi. Denisi tries to drive, instead pulls back, three-pointer with Smiley in his face and drills it. Joe Denisi gives the Falcons their first lead of the game, 5-3. Deer Park in front, 3.5 to go in the first.
Amityville here trying to control the pace of the game.
Savell Williams over to Thornton. Right wing behind the back dribble, cross court to Williams. Williams pulls up three-pointer, too strong. Rebound pulled down underneath by Tyler Hinton just in off the bench. Christian Smiley with a long three. That doesn't go off the back of the rim. Rebound pulled down by Aaron Charles, fresh off the bench. Make that Bill Murphy, sorry, swatted away. Here come the Warriors, trying to push the pace back the other way. It'll be Williams. Williams thinks about taking himself, picks up his dribble, gets it over to Hinton, far side, and we get a whistle, and they're going to say he stepped out, they're going to call a timeout. Looked like he stepped out of bounds. But the PA announcer, Gerald Asbell, says timeout. And both teams will retire to their respective sidelines to meet with their head coaches.
We're seeing, again, as I've mentioned, we're seeing a very aggressive play style here in today's game, especially with the Warriors. Their full court press is no longer working here, and I think Agostino will be adapting to that and having them work on that, keeping the Falcons on the outside of the paint and just not allowing them to get inwards. Yes, they just drilled a three, but that's okay. Here we're going to see the Warriors just defending the inside of the paint because they know that the Falcons can and might just drill right inside through.
Helping out on the Warrior bench today, Jason Frazier, an Amityville basketball legend, star at Villanova, played under Jay Wright, and assistant coach in the NBA for the Phoenix Suns, bringing all that experience back with his former head coach, Jack Agostino, who was here with him all those years ago. I'm sure whatever knowledge he's bestowing on these young minds is invaluable, as the Warriors will inbound under their own basket, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Amityville trails by 2. Thornton thinks about driving, finds Hinton. Hinton from the left side goes up with the shot and hits it, but they are going to say another charging foul, offensive foul on Tyler Hinton. That's 2 in this quarter. It's a turnover for the Warriors, and it'll be Falcons ball. Warriors pressing, they break it as Martin breaks up the court, takes it himself, won't go. Rebound tipped in the paint and pulled down by Gordon. Missed opportunity for the Warriors. Pass down low and smacked away again by Smiley. He's been all over on the defensive side of the glass. And Justin Thornton, he will slow things down for Amityville as he hands it off to the one guard, Savell Williams. Williams setting up the offense. Smiley sets the screen, now takes the pass, hands it off to Thornton. Behind the back dribble from the free throw line. Looking for Brown from behind the arc. Now it's Smiley, low right block, shot short. And the rebound pulled down by Nate Gordon. 5-3, under 2 to play in the first quarter. Loose ball right in front of us, but Gordon able to pick it up. Looks at taking it himself, finds an open Martin for 3. That doesn't go. Loose ball, and another rebound pulled down by Gordon and the Falcons. So Deer Park gets a fresh shot clock as Kuhn from the bottom of the circle, guarded by Thornton. Gives it up to Martin, left side. Down low, it's Murphy. Murphy hands it back to Martin. Long two-pointer. That doesn't go for Murphy. And another offensive rebound for Gordon. And an offensive foul called to Nate Gordon. So a turnover for Deer Park. The Warriors get it back with 1 minute, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the only points that they can claim is an early three-pointer by Nick Brown.
We're seeing both teams just heavily guarding each other, and the Falcons are trying to break through the Warriors' defense, and it's just, as we're seeing, it's just not working. And the same thing goes for the Warriors. It's so far a pretty close game. In the first quarter, we're used to seeing a common theme with both teams of them scoring really highly, but here we're at a standstill.
Justin Thornton takes a breather. Here's Smiley, long 2, and he drills it. So that breaks the 5-0 run. We are under a minute to play. 5-5, all tied up here in Amityville. In off the bench, Anias Duncan for the Warriors, in for Justin Thornton. 40 seconds on the game clock, 22 on the shot clock. Levinsky, fresh off the bench, gets called for the travel, and back-to-back turnovers for Deer Park. Let's see if Amityville can capitalize. Shot clock will be turned off as there's only 33.6 seconds remaining in the first quarter. A very low-scoring first quarter, and for Amityville basketball, Lucas, I'd have to say a slow-paced game.
Will we see the Falcons here break through the Warriors' defense in this upcoming quarter, or will we see the Warriors break through?
Williams drives. That shot doesn't go. Instead of holding for the last shot, Deer Park will get another possession. Strong defense by Williams as he guards Kewen. Kewen has it. Right wing, 7 seconds left. Hands it over to Denisi. Denisi double teamed in the corner. Cross court to Murphy. 3 on the clock. Murphy in the lane. Up for the layup, and it's swatted away again by Christian Smiley. 0.2 seconds left on the clock as Nate Gordon is denied the opportunity. Ball is out of bounds. It looks like they're going to give it to Deer Park, but it's going to be nearly impossible to get a shot off here before the first quarter expires. Inbound pass, and there's the horn at the end of the first quarter. Low-scoring contest here at the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium. It's a 5-5 game. Don't go anywhere. Second quarter action coming up right after this on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing one day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
This is Seville Williams for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back as we get set to bring you the second quarter of action here on the campus of Amityville Memorial High School. It's the Warriors and the Falcons as Deer Park comes in and visits Amityville for the first time in a very long time. Matt Grice, Lucas Torres, and we thank you for joining us here this evening on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. After one quarter of play, a very low-scoring game, Lucas. It's just 5-5.
I think we're seeing both teams here trying to break through each other's defense, and it's just not working out here. We're seeing already Christian Smiley with a very defensive type of play here. But again, with the Deer Park Falcons, they're putting that pressure on the Warriors that we're used to seeing from the Warriors offensively and defensively. And again, the Falcons want that number one spot, but the Warriors are going to keep on putting up that defense throughout this game.
The defense is important, but also they need to do a better job on the glass. Right now, we are going to send it over to our sideline reporter, Evan Kruder, who has a report.
Hi, Erin Kruder from the Broadcasting Network. Just ended the first quarter. Great quarter so far. Lots of exciting stuff here. We're tied 5-5, and I heard in on coach's talk with the players. There's a lot of teamwork going on. He went over a bunch of new plays that they can use to maybe improve their teamwork right now. But let's hope this quarter goes well. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Erin. Second quarter underway as a turnover for Deer Park, and the Warriors will get their first touch in the second frame. 5-5 ball game. The only points for Amityville. Nick Brown, a three-pointer to open things up. Christian Smiley capped off the first quarter scoring with a field goal. And sandwiched in between that, 5 points from the Falcons, 2 free throws coming from Nolan DeLargy, and a three-pointer coming from Joe Denisi. That is it after 8 minutes and 29 seconds of action here. Warriors will inbound right next to us here on press row. Williams with the ball. A slow-paced game for the Amityville offense. They generally like to generate fast break points off of their full-court press. Smiley looking for the screen. Duncan puts up a long shot and drains the tray. A three-pointer for Anias Duncan coming off the bench, and the Warriors lead again 8-5. 7 minutes to go until the half. Cross-court pass in the corner. Now it's Murphy, puts up a three, and he answers right back. Billy Murphy says, anything you can do, I can do better. And we are all tied up at 8 as it looks like the offense is starting to get going from both sides.
We're seeing both teams getting. We're seeing both sides of the Warriors and the Falcons, both sides of the bench getting extremely fired up here.
Smiley has it, thinks about a shot, instead dribbles it out to the corner and finds Brown, top of the key. Martin thinks about the steal, pulls back as Sherwin Johnson dribbles, goes from left to right, top of the key, 5 seconds on the shot clock, tries to get it to Smiley. Smiley turns, fires off the side of the rim, and the rebound pulled down by Nate Gordon. Gordon had 11 rebounds in Deer Park's last contest against Hauppauge, a victory for the Falcons. All tied up at 8, approaching the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Running in the lane, thinking about the shot and not taking it was DeLargy. Almost looked like he traveled. Forces a pass, and it goes out of bounds. So turnover, Warrior basketball.
We're seeing here that both teams are just going hand in hand, both defensively and offensively. We saw 2 back-to-back threes from both opposing teams here, and we're just going to see what else they could do throughout this quarter.
Thornton has it, gets around the screen, kicks it out to the corner. Brown fakes the shot again after taking a step. Now hands it off to Thornton. Thornton, right wing, dribbles middle of court, paint, kicks it back out. Far corner now, it's Brown. He puts up the tray. Front of the rim doesn't go. Rebound, loose in the paint. 2 maroon jerseys fighting for it. One of them comes away with it. And here comes Billy Murphy bringing the ball up for Deer Park. All tied up at 8, 5:32 to go in the first half. Murphy has it, hands it off to Martin. Martin guarded by Smiley between the leg dribble, double teamed, kicks it back out to Murphy. Murphy gets double teamed, and he finds Kuhn. Kuhn has it. Now it's Martin, far side, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Martin in the paint, kicks it out to Kuhn, puts up the wide open 3, and he knocks it down. 11-8, Falcons back in front, 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
A nice 3 here by the Falcons, trying to fight back from the Warriors' defense. But I think we're going to see the Warriors fighting back again soon.
Aggressive defense by the Falcons as they try to pick off a Christian Smiley pass, but that one goes out of bounds, so the Warriors will keep possession. 19 seconds left on the shot clock as they will inbound in their own backcourt. Williams crosses the timeline, immediately met by Hayden Levinsky off the bench. Floater now to Sherwin Johnson. He drives from the left side, kicks it out to the corner to Duncan. Duncan off the side of the backboard, not even close. And it will be Kuhn slowing things down for the Falcons. 11-8, Deer Park out in front, 4:26 to go in the half. Kuhn guarded strongly by Thornton, and they are going to charge Kuhn with an offensive foul as he aggressively lowers his shoulder into Thornton's chest. Thornton appears to be okay, and it'll be Warrior basketball.
Both teams are coming off it with an extremely aggressive defense and offense, both fighting for the boards and just for the ball in general.
Williams drives, kicks it out now to Johnson. Johnson back to Williams, puts up the tray, back of the rim, too strong. Rebound pulled down by Denisi. Long full court press from the left side, easy lay-in for Javion Martin. And with that, it's 13-8, Deer Park out in front. And right now, it's a 7-0 run for the Falcons. 3:50 to go in the second quarter. Williams thinks about driving, instead gets it to Thornton. Back to Williams as they play catch. Finds Johnson, long 3. No good. Out of bounds. Possession goes to the Falcons. I think the Warriors right now are having trouble finding clean open look shots, and when they're getting them, they're not falling, as a timeout is called as both coaches want to talk things over. Right now, the Falcons have the momentum.
The Falcons so far are breaking through the Warriors' defense. And right now, I think during this timeout, Agostino is trying to figure out how they can improve and just see how they could work against this overwhelming offense that they're putting out, especially when they're trying to just get some points in, whether it be outside on the three-point line or inside the paint. They're having troubles with that consistency, and they just are trying to get back together and work as a team to score.
When Amityville has been successful, we have seen a team that puts pressure on defensively with the full court press, and they make it very difficult for teams to get the ball across midcourt, many times causing turnovers and getting fast break, easy layups. In fact, their guards for the Warriors have been able to put together a lot of points this season, but many of them have been on fast break turnovers or layups. What the Warriors need to be able to do is Deer Park has been able to break the press so far this game. The Warriors need to find a hot hand and start draining some shots from beyond the paint. And if they can't do that, this is going to be a long day. Low scoring game so far, 13-8. Falcons out in front over the Warriors. 3:39 to go in the second quarter. Matt Grice, Lucas Torres here with you on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Both squads have finished talking things over with their respective benches and coaches, and they make their way back out onto the court.
So far, I think this is one of the lowest scoring games that both teams have had. But I think that's just because both the Warriors and the Falcons are such an even match, both defensively and offensively.
Full court press broken again. It's Denisi, far side. Pulls up, three-pointer, uncontested, strong. Rebound, pulled down by Sherwin Johnson. Smiley will bring the ball up the court for the first time today for Amityville. That's something else you need to see. Get the ball in the hands of your best player offensively. Smiley hands it back to Williams. Williams dribbles from left to right, gives it over to Johnson. Johnson from the right upper block. That doesn't go. And Denisi pulls it down. Now we're going to go back to our sideline reporter with Aaron Kruder.
Hey, it's Aaron Kruder, your sideline reporter, coming at you with an inside scoop from the sidelines. Now here the players were very focused on Agostino during the timeout. They were very focused on he was talking over defensive strategies, maybe how to play out the rest of the second quarter and turn it out good. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Aaron. Driving in the paint was Nate Gordon. There's a long shot, doesn't go for Denisi. Loose ball, Warriors able to pull it down, pushing the pressure up the court, fresh off the bench. For Amityville, it's Smiley. It was Bryce Bennyman who was bringing the hustle on the far sideline. We got a whistle, and they're going to call a foul on Javion Martin. And going to the free throw line for the first time today.
We're seeing the Falcons.
All right, I take that back. Excuse me. They're going to say he was not in the act of shooting. So Warriors inbound underneath their own basket. Bennyman has it, thinks about the three-pointer from the left wing. Instead, gets it over to Williams. Williams sets up the offense from the bottom of the circle. Right side to Johnson. Johnson looking for a cutting Thornton. Instead, tries to force a pass to Smiley. It's tipped away. Denisi has it for the Falcons. Over to Gordon. Gordon in the paint. Bounce pass. Left side down low to Martin. Martin tries to force a pass. Gets Gordon. Pulls it down. And he brings the ball back out. Tries to slow things down. In between the leg dribble. Pass is tipped by Bennyman. And stolen away by Smiley. Here comes Bennyman. Left side. Up with the shot. And Bennyman able to get the deuce over Nate Gordon. 13-10. Falcons still in front. 2 minutes to go in the half. Baseline, it's Martin. Martin far side over to Denisi. Denisi spins, drives on Bennyman, tries to throw up a shot from behind the basket. It's off the back of the backboard, and now the Warriors pushing the tempo. It's Thornton in the paint, up with the shot, rims around and falls, and they wave the basket off. As they say, the foul occurred before the shot, and as a result, the Warriors will keep the ball as they inbound under their own basket. Amityville charging 13-10, trailing 13-10. 1:41 to go until halftime. But Lucas, this is the pace I think Amityville is better suited to play.
They're going hand in hand. Both the Warriors and the Falcons here. They're almost fighting as equals, and we're seeing that the Warriors refuse to go down without a fight. That's what their name is, and that's exactly what we're seeing with this game here.
Savell Williams called for an offensive foul away from the ball. So a turnover for the Warriors. So we approach 90 seconds remaining in the opening half. Pressure from the Warriors. The press is broken as Murphy has it. Kicks it cross court to Martin. Martin drives baseline behind the back. Strong defense by Hinton, who's fresh off the bench for the Warriors. Cross court, it's Gordon. Gordon looking for a screen. Now runs into a double team. Finds DeLargy. DeLargy over to Martin. Martin with the tray. Won't go. And Smiley pulls down the rebound. Approaching 1 minute remaining in the first half. Warriors trailing by 3. Christian Smiley, right wing, drives in the lane. Finds an open Hinton. That shot knocked away and taken back by the Falcons. Q1 has it. looking down low for Martin. Martin kicks it into the corner for Murphy, and that doesn't go. Loose ball underneath. The rebound is pulled down, and up with the shot and good is Nate Gordon. It's an opportunity for a 3-point play and currently a 5-point lead for the Falcons.
We're seeing an excellent matchup here with the Warriors and the Falcons going hand in hand, whether it be offensive or defensively. We're seeing them fighting relentlessly for both the boards, the points, and overall that #1 spot.
Denisi comes back into the ball game, taking a seat. Davion Martin. And Nate Gordon looking to complete the 3-point play, and he does. 16-10, under a minute to play here in the opening half. About a 12-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Williams has it. Not much pressure applied by DeLarge, by Murphy. Brown, it's to Smiley. Smiley, shot, left block, doesn't go. Rebound, pulled down by Gordon. Shot clock turned off. 25 seconds to go in the half. Warriors trailing by 6. Wide open three-pointer by Murphy. Rims out, but another offensive board. Gordon has it. And we get a whistle and a timeout, a smart timeout by head coach John McCaffrey with 14.7 seconds left in the second quarter. And right now, the Falcons have an opportunity to add to this lead and add to their momentum going into the half.
I think here we're seeing the Warriors adjusting their defense, knowing that they rather take the risk of having the Falcons shoot threes and having them shoot inconsistently, rather having the open paint and just having them slash through and get that free 2 points.
You know what's interesting? We talked about this in the pregame show, how the Warriors are still looking for that second option who can shoot from the outside beyond Christian Smiley. But Deer Park is very well balanced offensively. And if you look at what they've done so far today, every single point that's been scored has been scored by a different player. So they are spreading the ball around offensively. Amityville has looked better at times when they've picked up the pace. But when they slow things down offensively, they've had a hard time breaking into the paint. And then defensively, they've just been giving up way too many second chance opportunities on the glass.
The main thing that I'm seeing with the Warriors here today is that they're doing more of a 3-2 zone, or now they just switch it to a 3-2 zone, playing the outside.
10 seconds left. Gordon has it, trying to take it himself, getting around a triple team, forces up the shot off the backboard side rim, no good. 3 seconds left. Brown to Williams, 1 second, doesn't realize how much time is on the clock, and the Warriors will not get a shot off before we get to halftime, and that is where we currently stand. 16-10 as the two teams trot off to their respective locker rooms. One half in the books, one to go, but don't go anywhere because the halftime show is coming up right after this on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
This is Seville Williams for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on Amityville Broadcasting Network.
This is the Warriors Basketball Halftime Show on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And we have, in fact, reached the half here at Amityville Memorial High School, as Amityville right now finds themselves trailing 16-10. Thank you for spending your Thursday evening with us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice, Lucas Torres, Evan Kruger on the sidelines, and Mr. Paul Cimino doing all the directing from behind the scenes, as well as Ludsman, our cameraman. We couldn't do it without him. A lot to talk about in the first quarter. One of those things, Lucas, not being the offense.
But not, as you said, not the offense, but can we just take a moment and just talk about both sides of the defense, whether it be the Warriors or the Falcons? Both teams are putting each other under this pressure because, again, we know that both the Falcons and the Warriors want this win, and they want to be what is called the top dog. And we can see that consistency in defense both for the Warriors and the Falcons. The Warriors slipping up every now and then, but that's only for the three-pointers that they're trying to let go.
Well, let's break it down for you. So, game started out very well for Amityville as they were able to find Nick Brown, the senior guard, puts up the tray and drills it. Amityville with the quick 3-0 lead. And they would keep that lead for a couple of minutes as Deer Park unable to get on the scoreboard, but Amityville was unable to build upon that lead, and it stayed at 3-0 until finally Nolan DeLargy drove in the lane, took a foul, went to the charity stripe, and hit both of his free throws to get Deer Park on the board. And then after a turnover moments later, Joe Denisi, after chucking up a few three-pointers and missing, drains the big three, and just like that, it's a 5-0 run and a quick lead for Deer Park.
Again, we're seeing Deer Park put up one of the best fights that we've seen here at Amityville. And it's like both the Falcons and the Warriors are such an even match, especially with their defense, that the Warriors can't break into the paint and the Falcons can't do the same to the Warriors. And we're seeing the Warriors force the Falcons take outside shots.
So the score remained 5-3 for some time. And then as quarter one wound down, Amityville was able to get another field goal. Christian Smiley drained a shot from the baseline about 15 feet away, and that tied the game up at 5, and that's where the first quarter ended. So definitely a defensive-minded game. As you were saying, Lucas, a lot of rebounds, second chances, a lot of missed shots as well, as it seemed like both offenses were having a hard time getting open looks.
I think the main reason both offenses are having that issue of not putting anything up on the board is because both the Warriors and the Falcons have such a tough defense that they kind of, in a way, don't know what to do. And they're still trying to figure this out. And I can tell you now, both the Falcons and the Warriors coaches are in their locker rooms, respectively, sitting there trying to figure out what they could do to get through in this game. I spoke to Coach Agostino previously during the coaches show, and so far he's been telling us that there's developments to be made, and I think there's going to be even more development during this quarter.
So after one quarter of play, Warriors and Falcons all tied up at 5. Before we break down the second quarter, let's go back to the sidelines.
All right, I'm Erin Kruger from the Broadcasting Network, and we're at halftime right now, and Nick Brown started off the game with a three-pointer, and throughout the game he has shown great stamina and strategy, and he's a senior interested in Division III, and he's grown very close with his team this year. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Aaron, and that's something that the Warriors could probably use as somebody else to get their offensive game going, a guy like Nick Brown, who we've seen it before, what he can do. Nick Brown actually had 2 3-pointers in the Warriors' last contest against Kings Park a couple days ago. Those were his only points of the game. So kind of one-dimensional offensively, but if they could get him going, it would help. And here's why. To start the second quarter, Anais Duncan, coming in off the bench for the Warriors, drains a big three-pointer that gets the crowd into it and gives the Warriors the lead, 8-5. But that would be the last lead Amityville would have. That shot was hit right at the beginning of the second quarter. It wouldn't be till almost the end of the second quarter that Amityville would get on the board again. But After that shot was hit, it would be the Falcons that went on a 7-0 run.
The Falcons are going on this 7-0 run, and they're going on these runs mainly because the Warriors' defense is trying to keep them on the outside, but the Falcons are keeping that consistency on the outside, especially on the left wing that we're seeing here, just straight up sitting here and watching the game as you all are, and we're seeing the Falcons put up these shots after getting open and everything. And we're seeing the Warriors trying to get the shots on the outside, but they're not landing. But in this past quarter, we're seeing the Warriors trying to get more into the paint, and we saw that with Christian Smiley and many other players trying to drive in and just score that easy basket.
Yeah, defenses have been great for both teams. The offense have been anemic at times. It was Billy Murphy who started that run for the Falcons, followed up by a three-pointer from their shooting guard, Tyler Kuhn. And the 7-0 run was capped off by Javion Martin. Martin had a big game last time, the other day, against Hauppauge, as he put up 16 points. So that capped the 7-0 run. The Warriors would respond as Bryce Beneman off the bench. He would drain a 2. And then a big three-point play from Nate Gordon, who is a star in his own right. Gordon last game had a double-double with 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists as he was on his way to that triple-double. But Warriors defense did a great job of keeping him silent until the end of the second quarter. He hit a 2, drew a foul, sank the free throw, and that was the end of the scoring for the half. 16-10 the score at halftime, an anemic offensive performance by both teams. Nobody getting hot on either side. Christian Smiley only with 1 basket. Same thing with Nate Gordon. But if there's one thing that you can say that the Falcons do and do well, it's the fact that they spread the ball out offensively. Every player that scored in the first half was a different player.
I think we're seeing a lot of that, especially with the Falcons. They have that diversity with the ball that they're just spreading it out, just trying to find that open man and just get that easy 1 or 2 points in, just so they can get that on the board and get just a slightly bigger lead. And the Warriors are putting up such a good defense, especially within the paint, that the only thing the Falcons can do is shoot from the outside. And so the Warriors are just trying to fight back and get back into this game.
Lucas, keys to the second half.
Keys to the second half, I think it's both. The Falcons are just trying to get into the paint and just continue to wage that gap between the Warriors. And the Warriors are just trying to get those points back onto the board and get into the paint.
Defenses have been strong for both teams. Which offense will wake up in the second half? Find out in just a moment. It's the third quarter of basketball here from Amityville Memorial High School. Right now, the Amityville Warriors trailing the Deer Park Falcons 16-10. Third quarter action coming up in just a moment, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing one day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
This is Justin Thornton, position small forward for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Justin Thornton and his teammates hoping to get their offense going here as we get set to start the second half of basketball from the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium. It's Deer Park 16, Amityville 10, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Again, thank you for spending your Thursday evening with us here. Matt Grice, Lucas Torres, Aaron Kruger on the sidelines for us today. Both teams getting their final pep talks from their respective coaches and benches and teammates. The Warriors come out to the court first. Here comes Deer Park for Amityville. Starting things off, it'll be Justin Thornton, Sherwin Johnson, Christian Smiley, Nick Brown, and Savell Williams. For Deer Park, starting things off, be Martin, Murphy, DeLargy, Kuhn, and of course their stud Nate Gordon. Warriors get possession first. It's Williams as Amityville now heads from right to left. Brown has it. Dribbles left side. Tries to get around a screen. Dangerous pass to Williams, but he gains control. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Williams kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson dribbles from left to right. Here's a three-pointer well short from Justin Thornton off the front of the rim. Rebound is pulled down, however, by Sherwin Johnson, and off the top of the backboard and clean through the net. Warriors on the basket, on the scoreboard first. 16-12, 7:17 to go in the third quarter. Deer Park with possession. It's Martin. Martin behind the back dribble, drives into paint, kicks it out to Kuhn. Air ball, falls right in the hands of Christian Smiley. Thinks about breaking down the far sideline, slows things down and gets it over to Williams. In the far corner, dribbles in the paint, shot rims out, and the rebound pulled down by Kuhn. Kuhn in front of his own bench. Williams guarding him, hands it off to Martin. Martin from left to right hands it back now to Murphy. Murphy, top of the key, tries to force a pass down low to Gordon, and it's kicked by Justin Thornton, so Deer Park will inbound from the near sideline, just to our right. 6:37 to go, third quarter, 16-12. Deer Park currently out in front. Kuhn has it from the free throw line, up with the floater and drains it. Kuhn gets on the board again. His 4th points of the contest, and it's now 18-12, 6:23 to go, third quarter. Deer Park out in front. Let's see if the Warriors can get their offense going. Williams has it. Pass to Thornton. Back to Williams in between the circles, looking for a screen. Dribbles right side, over to Johnson. Johnson, right upper block, has it swatted away, but they'll say he's fouled. So Sherwin Johnson will go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. Last game, Johnson had a big offensive output, 14 points, including 2 3-pointers. Today he's been quiet, at least offensively, looking for his first points of the day. First free throw off the side of the rim, no good.
I think I could speak for Justin Thornton and the rest of the Warriors that they're just trying to get back into the groove offensively. They're trying to get back on the board. We saw them score a few points in the beginning of this third quarter, and I think they're just trying to fight back.
Second free throw is good for Thornton. So Thornton has all the points this quarter. Oh, I'm sorry, for Johnson. That was Johnson has all the points this quarter for the Warriors. 18-13, Warriors trail by 5, 5:52 to go, third quarter. Open three near baseline and sunk by Nolan DeLargy, 21-13. Deer Park up in front. Warriors have it. It's Williams. Right wing, top of the key. Chest pass over to Smiley, in between the leg dribble. Throws up the three-pointer and drills it. Christian Smiley with the answer. 21-16, 5:22 to go in the third. Breaking in is Murphy. Kicks it out to DeLargy. Shot put up from about 15 feet out. That doesn't go for Murphy. Ball falls out of bounds as Justin Thornton tried to chase it down and couldn't handle it. So Deer Park gets it back. 5:06 to play here in the third quarter. Warriors trailing by 5. And we get a whistle. And it looks like we're going to do it again as Tyler Kuhn set to inbound under his own basket. Looking for help. Gets it out to Denisi off the bench. Denisi from the free throw line. Gives it up to Kuhn. Kuhn, chest pass to Denisi. Denisi double team, gets around it in the paint ball on the floor. Picked up by Thornton. Hands it over to Williams. Williams, fast break, 2-on-2. Runs out of room, finds Brown for the easy lay-in. And the Warriors have a little bit of momentum here. It is now 21-18. Warriors only trail by 3. 4:45 to go in the third quarter. And Coach McCaffrey would like to talk things over as Deer Park calls a timeout.
We're seeing the Warriors do what they're known for best, and that's not giving up during this fight, especially with the Falcons putting the pressure on them. But again, the Warriors are also known for putting that pressure onto teams. The Warriors are not giving up at all during this game. Even if we're into the third quarter, they're trying to put those points back up onto the board and keep up with the Falcons. The Falcons are still trying to fight back, but the Warriors might take it throughout this game, but we just don't know yet. The Falcons could have that defense that completely overwhelms them, but only time will tell what these two teams can do to each other.
Amityville currently on a 5-0 run, and it is definitely their best run of the game. Deer Park has had one 5-0 run and a 7-0 run, which helped them build their lead. That was in the first half. 21-18, Warriors trailing by 3. Deer Park has the ball after calling the timeout. They will inbound in the backcourt, and it will be Q1 bringing the ball up the court, crosses the timeline, in between the legs, dribble, guarded by Williams, passes it over to Gordon. Warriors doing a good job defensively on Gordon today as he has it left wing, bounces once, kicks it over to Denisi, and Denisi sinks the tray. 24-18, that ends the 5-0 run, and Deer Park on top, 4:18 to go, third quarter.
I think we're seeing some trouble communicating with the Warriors team as of right now.
Johnson, Smiley, three-pointer, rims out, Brown, rebound, up with the shot, doesn't go. Loose ball in the paint, Thornton can't get it to go, and that ball sits on the edge of the rim before falling harmlessly to the floor, but there is a foul, and going to the free throw line will be Justin Thornton. And Lucas, that is what we didn't see in the first half. Second chance opportunities for the Warriors on the glass.
I think the Warriors are coming back into this third quarter with a very aggressive play style here, especially just coming off of the bench. All these players are just fighting for it now. I don't think they care anymore if they're getting fouled or hacked up in the paint. They are in it to get on the board and get back into this play.
Thornton misses the first free throw, drains the second. Warriors have missed a couple of free throws today. Full court press. This is the defense you're looking for if you're Amityville. It's Gordon trying to take it himself. Now he gives it off right wing to Q1. Tries to get a pass in the paint to Murphy. It's tipped away. Here comes Williams. 1-on-3 under the basket, up with the shot. And no good, but he draws the foul. So Williams showing some energy, and this is how the Amityville Warriors get many of their points when Christian Smiley isn't draining them, and that's by charging into the paint and either getting the layups or getting to the charity stripe.
This is what the Warriors do best here at Amityville. They hack and slash through the paint, even if they're slowed down by a little bit. Yes, the Falcons are doing an amazing job on defense. Both teams are, but we're seeing the Warriors work, making the Falcons work for that number one spot if that's possible throughout this game. And we're seeing the Warriors just push the Falcons to their absolute max.
First free throw miss, second free throw hit. Warriors only 3 of 6 from the free throw line today. It's 24-20, 3:38 to go, third quarter. Double team in the corner, Murphy looking for help and throws it off of Justin Thornton's leg. So Deer Park will keep possession, but smothering defense by the Warriors.
Amityville not taking a break here from the pressure that they're putting on the Falcons.
Murphy to Q1. Q1 back in his own backcourt. Crosses into the front court. Hands it over to Denisi. Denisi a long tray off the back of the rim. Rebound pulled down by Gordon. Second chance opportunity. Here's Denisi again. And drills the three-pointer. Denisi heating up his second three-pointer in a row for Deer Park as we approach the 3-minute mark in the third quarter. The lead is back up to 7 for the Falcons. Brown to Thornton in front of the Warrior bench. Picks up his dribble. Chest pass Johnson. Throws it to Brown. Brown, Smiley, baseline, 3. Strong. Rebound pulled down by Gordon. Gordon tripped up by Smiley trying to get back on defense. They will call a foul on Christian Smiley, and Deer Park will inbound just to our left.
Both teams being very aggressive, trying to get this ball, whether it be on offense or defense here in this game.
Q1, guarded by Thornton. Hands it over, or at least tries to. It's tipped. Driving in the paint, up with the right hand, and swatted away by Christian Smiley, his third block of the contest. Williams breaks, kicks it out to Brown, who gives it back to Smiley. 4-3, off the rim. The crowd wanted that one. They're not going to get it. Loose ball on the court, and Deer Park able to come up with it. Here comes Billy Murphy. Billy Murphy blocked by Christian Smiley, and they are going to call a foul on Christian Smiley. Smiley didn't like the call. Deer Park will inbound right in front of us. 27-20. Falcons out in front. 2:13 to go here in the third quarter.
The Warriors here are not letting the Falcons go by any easier throughout this third quarter. The Warriors are putting the pressure on the Falcons throughout this whole entire game.
Murphy, guarded by Williams. Now it's the hot-handed Denisi. Denisi hands it off to DeLargy. Back to Murphy. Murphy in the paint. Kicks it out to Denisi. Denisi dribbles right to left. Finds Murphy. In the paint now, it's Gordon. Up with the shot. That won't go. And a foul is called. So that will send Nate Gordon to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
The Falcons playing a very aggressive offense here against the Warriors, trying to break down the Warriors' defense. And we're seeing Gordon here at the free throw line trying to make an extra few points here for the Falcons.
Gordon, we mentioned before, a double-double a couple of days ago, as that first three-pointer bounces around a couple of times and finally gets the friendly roll. So the first free throw falls, and as we get set for the second free throw from Gordon, that one does not fall, but the rebound is tipped into the hands of Kuhn. Now driving in the lane is Denisi. That doesn't go. And here comes Johnson and the Warriors. In the corner, baseline, looking for help. Smiley out of bounds. And now we'll take a moment to check in with Aaron Kruder.
All right, Aaron Kruder from the Amityville Broadcasting Club. This has been a great game so far, but currently Deer Park currently has the one-up on Amityville. But with the right encouragement and teamwork, I think they can get it up. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Aaron. Missed shot for Justin Thornton. Here comes Deer Park breaking the other way. It's DeLargy. He'll slow things down. Pass tipped by Thornton, but Deer Park able to retain possession. Three-pointer by Kuhn, and Kuhn drills it. 31-20, a minute 13 to go in the third quarter. Largest lead of the game for Deer Park. And we get a whistle, and we're going to call a foul. Tyler Kuhn looking for the double dribble. He's not going to get it. Amityville will keep possession. Right now, Deer Park has matched their longest run of the game. They are currently on a 7-0 run. Warriors looking to break it. It'll be Williams. Williams has it. Crosses midcourt. In between the circles. As the Warriors set up their offense. Under a minute to play, third quarter. 23 on the shot clock. Brown thinks about the three. Instead, finds Thornton in the corner. Near corner, Thornton brings it back out, gets around his screen, free throw line, kicks it over to Williams. Williams with 10 on the shot clock, gives it over to Sherwin Johnson. And that pass intended for Christian Smiley, instead lands in the arms of a cheerleader. Possession to the maroon jerseys.
We're seeing an aggressive play style and defense here again, back for the Warriors, as we all see.
Murphy breaks the press. 31-20, 30 seconds to go, third quarter. 23 seconds on the shot clock. Q1 has it, thinks about a shot, instead gives it to Levinsky. Levinsky just in the game, looks for some help, bumps into his own teammate looking to set a screen, and an illegal pick as Billy Murphy's feet were moving as he set the screen, so that'll be a turnover. Warriors will get the ball, trailing by 11. Shot clock is turned off, 18.7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Dangerous pass, but connects with Williams. Williams to Brown, far side in front of the Warrior bench. Tries to get it over, cross court to Sherwin Johnson. It's too far to the right, and it will be Deer Park with the opportunity to hold for the last shot of the third. 12 seconds flat remaining in quarter number 3, and Deer Park has held the Warriors to 20 points thus far. Christian Smiley takes a quick breather as you figure Deer Park will hold the ball to the end. 6 seconds left. Q1 has it, bottom of the circle. 3 seconds, looking for Denisi, puts up the three. That stepped on the sideline, so he was out of bounds. Warriors will get to inbound it, but they have a full-length court to go with 1.1 seconds on the clock. Williams has it on the inbound, throws it up at the buzzer, off the top of the backboard, and falls harmlessly to the floor. 3 quarters in the books here from Amityville Memorial High School. Warriors have 8 minutes left to try to get their offense going. They currently trail by 11. It's 31-20. Deer Park out in front. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter coming up right after this on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing one day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
Coach Agostino, the head basketball coach for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Basketball Network.
3 in the books, 1 to go as we come to you live from the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium. Matt Grice, Lucas Torres, and Aaron Kruder on the sidelines for us today. Right now, the Warriors in a battle for first place, still early in the season, but Amityville has their backs to the wall as they currently trail Deer Park 31-20. Lucas, the story today, it's been a defensive game, but one in which offensively the Warriors have come up a little short.
At this point, I think both the Warriors and the Falcons are both getting extremely frustrated. And honestly, both between their own players and overall with what's going on offensively and defensively. The Warriors are trying to work the ball around, but the looks are there, but the scoring just isn't. Same goes for the Falcons. The Falcons are trying to break through the Warriors' defense, and the Warriors' defense is almost too much for the Falcons to handle. But at the same time, they're slashing through, finding that open man, and just scoring those points.
Q.M. Murphy, Gordon, Martin, and here's a shot from Martin. That doesn't go. Rebound in the paint, pulled down by Smiley. Runs into his own man. Smiley quickly back off the bench. It's Williams, Smiley, Thornton, Johnson, and Hinton starting the fourth quarter on the court for the Warriors. Here's Smiley, dribbles from left to right, hands it over to Thornton. Three-pointer by Hinton off the far rim, and the rebound pulled down by a white jersey, but off of Savell Williams' knee and out of bounds. So possession goes to the Deer Park Falcons. 31-20, Warriors trail. 34 seconds gone by in quarter number 4. Warriors pressing, but Deer Park has not had a hard time breaking that press today. That's hurt the Warriors in their offensive game. And now Murphy needs some help in the backcourt, able to get it to Martin just before the 10-second backcourt violation. Martin with some razzle-dazzle between the leg dribble. Hands over to Denisi. Denisi in the paint. Bounce pass Gordon. Up and under. That doesn't go. Gordon with his own rebound. And a foul is called underneath. And for the third time today, Nate Gordon will go to the free throw line.
We're seeing the Falcons here on the free throw line yet again, trying to get some extra points to put their lead a little bit further.
Right now, the Falcons in the midst of a 7-0 run. Warriors have not scored from the floor as the first free throw falls. Make that an 8-0 run now. Warriors' last 2 points both came from free throws. It was Justin Thornton and Savell Williams both missed a free throw each as Gordon misses the second free throw. 8-0 run for Deer Park. Smiley with the ball, under 7 to play here in the contest. 12-point lead, and Christian Smiley gets the crowd back into it with a tray of his own. 32-23, and Coach McCaffrey wants to talk it over.
We're seeing the Warriors, again, they don't want to give up at all throughout this whole entire game. They want to be continuously in this. And the Falcons are just pushing the Warriors to their absolute max so far in today's game. and the Warriors are doing exactly the same to the Falcons. As of right now, yes, the Falcons might be up in score, but that doesn't mean the Warriors can't come back. And the Warriors are still putting up an amazing fight throughout this game, whether it be defensively or offensively. The Falcons are also doing this just about the same, and both teams are such an even match that this win or lose for either team, this is a great practice for both of them, just for their teammates to see their abilities.
Christian Smiley now has 8 points on the day, 2 3-pointers. The last contest, Christian Smiley had 3 3-pointers, 10 rebounds, 13 points, including hitting the game-winning shot to help seal the deal for the Warriors against Kings Park. But in this one, the Warriors have some work to do. 6:49 on the game clock. Amityville currently trailing by 9 points. Deer Park has been leading for a while. Presses on once again. Martin, double teamed in the backcourt, trying to take it himself. 3 seconds to get it across the timeline. They do after passing it to Murphy. Murphy, top of the key, calls for a screen. Guarded by Williams. Hands it over to Gordon. Gordon in the paint, left side up, doesn't go. Smiley with the rebound. Good job by Thornton on defense, planting his feet. And Ice Duncan back in the game for Amityville. As Williams has it, drives from the right side, up with the left hand, and gets the toilet bowl flush. 32-25, Warriors trail, 6:11 to go here in quarter number 4. So the Warriors on a mini 5-0 run. They've had one 5-0 run today. This is their second one. Deer Park inbounds the ball. 7-point lead for the Falcons. Q1 has it, finds Murphy. Murphy in the paint, hits the ground hard, and a foul is called. Christian Smiley does not like the call. Now we go to Aaron Kruder on the sidelines.
Aaron Kruder from the Broadcasting Network here on the sidelines. We are in our 4th and final quarter. We are still down 32-25, but we are slowly but surely catching up. During the timeout, Coach Agostino gave his players some strategies, and hopefully that inspired them, and we are definitely catching up. So back to you guys.
Thanks, Aaron. Deer Park has the ball with a 32-25 lead, just under 6 to play in the game. Murphy, right wing, good defense by Williams. Double team, Murphy keeps the ball, and we're going to get a push. I'm going to call that one. Looks like they're going to call that one on Amityville. Good crowd on hand today, Lucas, and they are in this game. Some of them not too pleased with the call. Warriors need possession and points as Gordon gets the ball in bounce, and now we get another whistle. And it looked like they called a foul on Savell Williams. And with that foul, that will actually send Nate Gordon. Looks like Nate Gordon's going to go to the free throw line. A few substitutions being made here.
Still plenty of time left here in the 4th quarter. Scores 32-25 with 5:50 left in this game.
Nate Gordon, it shows you the type of player he is, even though he hasn't been lighting it up offensively, because as he hits the first free throw, Gordon has been giving himself second chance opportunities and has been aggressive under the basket. Multiple opportunities at the free throw line today. And he hits a pair. 34-25, 9-point lead for Deer Park, 5:46 to go in the 4th quarter. Here comes Justin Thornton. In the corner, it's Johnson. Sends it cross court to Smiley. Far side of the rim, doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Gordon. Gordon, cross court to his one guard. That would be Tyler Q1. Q1 guarded by Smiley. Smiley playing way out, which is going to leave some space underneath if they choose to go to Gordon. Now Gordon has it, top of the key. One-on-one, hands it off, corner 3, air ball from Denisi. Rebound pulled down by DeLargy. And Smiley trying to save it. Loose ball. Deer Park able to get it. Spinning in the paint is Denisi. And now Delargy takes it back out and hands it over to Q1. Q1 dribbles from right to center court, bottom of the circle, guarded by Johnson. And now it's Gordon. Gordon in the paint, right side, up, off the side of the rim, no good. Smiley has it. Smiley, fast break, 2-on-3. Smiley looking to take it himself, up and under with the left hand, and gets a pair. 34-27 as the Warriors trying to chip away at this lead. 4:38 to go in the fourth quarter. And John McCaffrey calls timeout to talk things over with the Falcons.
I got to be honest here with you folks. I think this is more of a fight for time at this point. Both the Warriors and the Falcons are letting this fourth quarter almost go by really fast, especially with the Warriors just putting the points back up as we all like to see. And the Warriors are just trying to make that time, to make that comeback. But the Falcons are still putting up such an amazing defense, and the Warriors are just trying to fight back from that defense.
Smiley in double figures, first Amityville player to do so today. The Warriors slowly chipping away at this lead. They trail 34-27, 4:38 to go in the fourth quarter. It's early in the season still, but first place is on the line. A win for Deer Park would put them in a tie with the Warriors, but give them the tiebreak because of the head-to-head matchup. A win for Amityville, and they would get a little breathing room over Deer Park, a team which they are not used to seeing, as they have not been in the same league together for some time. Warriors ready to go. They're back out on the court. Now the Falcons come out to join them. It'll be Thornton, Brown, Duncan, Smiley, and Johnson on the court for the Warriors. Murphy inbounds for the Falcons. Presses on. Q1 has it. Good pressure along the sidelines by Williams. Q1 once again able to break it. Bottom of the circle, from right to left. Hands it off. Murphy. Murphy again, bottom of the circle, guarded by Brown. Kicks it over to Martin. Thinking about the three-pointer is Denisi. He's had the hot hand a few times today. Instead, gets it over to Murphy, and Murphy lays it up and in. 36-27, 4:10 to play in the fourth. And we get a whistle as Williams drives to the basket and draws the foul. We'll get a couple of substitutions here. 36-27. The final eighth of the contest left to go.
I got to say, for a team that has not been in the league for a couple of years now, what a fight that they're putting up here with the Amityville Warriors. It is 36-27, and this is a clash for the throne as of right now, and it's just going back and forth with scoring in this fourth quarter.
Williams goes to the free throw line as he's able to hit the first. And there's something Amityville hasn't been able to do today. They convert on both free throws. 36-29, 7-point lead as we hit the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Deer Park with the ball and the lead as it's Murphy, top of the key, guarded by Smiley. Now it's Martin. Martin right wing, finds Murphy. Baseline, open for a three, decides to drive baseline up and under, and that ball gets the bounce and the roll. 2 more points on the board for Murphy, 38-29, 3:36 to go in the fourth quarter. We get a whistle on the other end of court, and it will be another foul called. And that will send Christian Smiley to the free throw line while he's getting ready to shoot. All the other 4 Warriors against the sideline talking to their coach, Jag Agostino, for a quick word. So it's Smiley and 5 maroon jerseys, and he puts up the first of 2 and converts. 11 points today now for Christian Smiley.
Christian Smiley playing an amazing game of basketball here today, folks. Overall, both teams are playing very well today.
Second free throw doesn't go. Another miss for the Warriors. And Amityville trailing by 8, down to their last 3 minutes and 24 seconds. It's Q1, guarded by Williams. Q1, left wing, Hands over to Martin. Martin drives, left low block, up and in off the backboard for the easy lay-in. 40-30, 10-point lead, 3 minutes to go in the contest. And it's Smiley desperately trying to get his team going offensively. Shot doesn't go. Good hustle by Justin Thornton trying to bring it down. And we'll have to see who the refs give possession to. And it looks like they're going to say a loose ball foul. And that will send Justin Thornton to the line. That's exactly what Deer Park doesn't want to do. Give the Warriors a chance to score points with that clock not ticking.
The Warriors still putting up that fight with that Warrior spirit, I should say. The Falcons still putting that pressure onto the Warriors that we've seen throughout the past 3 quarters of this game, even leading into the fourth. Justin Thornton at the line here.
Thornton puts up the 1-and-1 opportunity and can't convert. So another missed free throw for the Warriors. And that gives Deer Park possession. 2:51 to go in the game. Warriors trailing by 10. Gordon over to Murphy. Murphy in the lane, up and in with the easy uncontested layup. That's 2 in a row that Deer Park has scored. Easy points in the paint, and that's something you're not used to seeing from this Warrior defense. 12-point lead now. It's the biggest of the game for Deer Park. 2:30 to play. And there's a three-pointer drilled in the corner. And it was Justin Thornton knocking down the tray and keeping the Warriors in this game. We get another timeout on the floor. Every time it looks like Deer Park's about to blow the game open, the Warriors have answered back with a big three-pointer. The question now, Lucas, is there enough time as they still trail by 9?
As I said earlier in this quarter, I don't think it's no longer a fight between the players, but now it's a fight of time. Which team will come through within this time period? Amityville still has 2 minutes, 20 seconds to come back from this game. Will the Falcons pull through and put the lead even higher? We don't know. We'll just need to watch the last few minutes of this game.
Warriors have missed 6 free throws today. They've taken 12. If you convert on those free throws, maybe it's a different game right now, and that might be something they look at when this one is over. But let's set the stage for you here from the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium. It's 42-33, the Deer Park Falcons in the lead and looking to take over first place. 2:24 to go, and Deer Park has the ball. It's Kewan. Press is broken again. Denisi finds Martin. Floater, dangerous pass. Kewan able to pull it down. From left to right to Murphy, he plays catch with Kewan. Kewan, again, playing catch. This time it's Gordon. Gordon dribbles once. Back to the top of the key, in between the circles. Gordon thinks about the 3. Bounce pass in the paint, Murphy. And another easy lay-in. That's 3 in a row from the left side as Martin, the open man. And it's 44-33. 1:48 to go in the contest. Amityville's going to have to push the pace. Usually a strength there. Savell Williams from the left upper block. And Savell Williams able to hit the pull-up 2-pointer. 44-35 with 90 seconds remaining in the game. Warriors pressing. Murphy breaking. And Q1 slowing things down. Murphy has it. Duncan on him. Murphy down low to Gordon. Gordon up and under with the left hand. And that's 4 in a row. Points right under the basket, uncontested. 46-35, 70 seconds left in the game. And there's a shot. That won't go from Williams. Thornton trying to make a play defensively. 1 minute left and we get a whistle and a timeout taken by John McCaffrey and the Deer Park Falcons.
We're seeing with the Warriors here that Agostino has now just switched into almost a different approach defensively. He's having them play with their hands up instead of trying to go for that pickpocket type plays that we're used to seeing. I think that's due to mainly the amount of fouls that are being called just in the paint, but that's the aggressive play style that both players are having, especially with the Falcons. The Falcons are slashing into the Warriors' paint and just scoring those easy buckets, whether the Warriors want it to happen or not. The Falcons are putting it up.
Amityville has been playing a stellar game defensively until really the fourth quarter. And you were just talking about the last few possessions, even though the Warrior offense has been starting to wake up, their defense, and you have to give the Falcons credit as well, their ball movement has been stellar, moving it around and finding the open man, but their last 8 points have all come right under the basket in the paint and have been fairly uncontested layups. Amityville's got to keep it going consistently from both sides of the court, and they are down to their final 59.6 seconds. A loss for the Warriors would have them losing 3 out of 4, and a win for Deer Park would put them in sole possession of first place in Division III. Can the Warriors come back? It's going to be tough as Deer Park starts with the ball. Denisi has it. Finds Murphy. Wide open three. Gordon decides not to take it and instead to kill the clock. Doubled in the corner. And we get another timeout. A smart timeout. Heads up play by a veteran player, the senior Nate Gordon, who with the double team in the corner didn't want to turn the ball over. There is 19 seconds on the shot clock, 49 seconds on the game clock, and the Warriors might be in a situation, Lucas, where they're going to be forced to foul.
And if that's the case, I think they're going to be going for more of, if anything, offensive, trying to push the Falcons offensively to even try fouling them in some cases. So I think in the last 50 seconds of this game, we're going to see the Warriors driving into the paint so that way they can, whether it be an out-of-bounds foul or just trying to pull any type of foul, I think we're going to see the Warriors pushing for it.
Once again, thank you so much for spending your Thursday evening here with us on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. If you have not already done so, please like us and follow us. We appreciate your support. 46-35, Deer Park with an 11-point lead. It's been a back-and-forth fourth quarter, one in which Amityville has been unable to chip away at the Falcon lead, and now they find themselves in a very difficult situation. Deer Park has possession with 19 seconds remaining on the shot clock, 49 on the game clock. 11-point lead. Murphy has it. Let's see if the Warriors foul. So far, no foul. Murphy, bottom of the circle. Ball sent around the world to Martin. Back to Murphy. 9 seconds on the shot clock. In the paint, it's Gordon passing up an opportunity to shoot until now as Denisi puts it up in the corner. That doesn't go. Shot clock turned off. Three-pointer by Johnson. That doesn't go. Rebound pulled down in the paint by Smiley. Still a loose ball. Warriors desperately trying to heave it in, and Justin Thornton able to do so. It's 46-37, but just 15.1 seconds left on the clock.
The Warriors need, I think, about 3 3-pointers to come back just to put the Warriors into overtime here at Amityville. But we don't know what's going to happen in these last 15 seconds here. Again, it's a very close game, and the Warriors and the Falcons have been putting up an amazing fight so far. The Falcons have, I can't lie to you folks, an interstellar defense, and the pressure for both the Warriors and the Falcons have been so much that they're both teams are pushing each other to new limits, and I think Agostino, the head coach of the Warriors, are seeing just as much as he can from the Warriors and seeing how much they can improve in their new ability throughout the season.
It may have been too little too late anyway, but give credit to the Falcons. They didn't rush a shot, and they were able to count down all 19 seconds on the shot clock. Warriors chose not to foul. Now Deer Park has it again, 15.1 seconds to go. 46-37, Falcons in front. And now Deer Park is holding it. It's Kuon. Over to Martin, and now we get a foul. And it's Savell Williams. I wonder why foul now. I don't know if that makes a difference at this point in the game, but if that's the strategy, they probably should have started doing that when there were 49 seconds left on the clock. But nevertheless, Devon Martin heads to the free throw line as the Falcons are in the bonus. 46-37 with 6 seconds remaining. Martin from the charity stripe. First free throw is good. So that puts the lead back up to 10 for Deer Park, and you have to figure, regardless of what happens on this shot, the clock will be allowed to run out. Martin hits a pair. 48-37, 6 seconds left. Smiley has it on the inbound, dribbles up the court, 2 seconds, tries to send a pass over to Justin Thornton, tipped away, and that will do it from Amityville Memorial High School as the Warriors fall short at home to Deer Park, 48-38. A heartbreaker for the Warriors, but one in which you hope that they can build on moving forward.
I think we saw the most out of both the Warriors and the Falcons here at tonight's game. Amazing game by both teams, especially with the Warriors and Falcons defense and offense, both of which were pushing the limits of each other. This is one of the closest games that I think both teams have had, mainly because both the Amityville Warriors and the Deer Park Falcons were such a close matchup, especially defensively and offensively, whether it be with the full court presses or just the way that they were working their 3-2 zones.
So definitely Amityville has some work to improve upon here as they fall short 48-38. If there's one thing you can say, it's that the second half of the game, the Warriors were able to find their offense, but too little, too late. And I think some of the early season flaws that we saw that were not exposed by other teams, which is not having enough snipers, that hurt the Warriors today as Deer Park did a really good job breaking the Warrior press, not allowing for Amityville to get their fast break points in the paint. And the Warriors had a hard time finding where that offense was going to come from.
I think this game really just came down, it was almost like a time restraining thing, both for the Warriors and the Falcons. If either teams had even more time, either team could have scored more or less. This could have gone any way if there was just a little bit more time on the clock, especially with the Warriors coming in with their last-ditch efforts in the fourth quarter.
Final score, 48-38. Warriors fall to the Falcons. They fall to 7-3 on the season, 3-1 in league play, where the Deer Park Falcons improved to 7-3 overall and 5-1 in Division III. Don't go anywhere. The postgame show coming up next right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
This is Sherwin, point guard for the Amityville Warriors, and you're watching the Warrior Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Amityville falls 48-38 here at home on this Thursday evening. Thanks for watching on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. JV squads are warming up right now, but before we wrap up the day, Lucas, we have to break this one down, and we'll take it from the top. It was a first half that was filled with some great defense and not much from either team on the offensive side.
And I think that was a common theme throughout each of the quarters. We saw in the first 2 quarters that it was a back and forth defensively and offensively. And it was almost like, for the first 3 quarters, I think we could say it was almost a back and forth defensively and offensively, mainly due to that even matchup, especially with the players. Amityville has always been used to that fast-paced gameplay or being faster than their opponent. And for the first time that we've seen in the season, that the Falcons match their quickness and their speed.
When you play against a team that has strong guard play, which Deer Park showed tonight, that press, although still can be effective, is not going to determine the outcome of the game. Somebody needs to find the hot hand, and tonight that didn't really start happening until the end of the game as the Warriors were able to spread things around and the guards really started to get going. But before we get to the second half, let's look at the first. The first quarter started out great for the Warriors as Nick Brown hit a three-pointer to get things going for Amityville. Deer Park answers with a 5-0 run. And then at the end of the first quarter, Christian Smiley is able to hit a 10-footer. It's tied up at 5. 5 points. That's it for both teams at the end of the first quarter. Both teams having a hard time hitting shots, but we keep saying it, you have to give credit sometimes to the defense, and the defense was immaculate for both teams.
We're all used to seeing Amityville and so many other teams just immediately clash in that first half. But since both teams had this outstanding defense, they were at a standstill during that first quarter and even leading into that second quarter, that they didn't have the opportunities to score and they didn't have that ability to even get the open points.
In quarter number 2, once again, started out well for the Warriors. A three-pointer by Anias Duncan off the bench gave Amityville a 5-0 run. They'd have one more of those later on in the game. But then it was Deer Park answering back with a 7-0 run of their own, spreading the ball around to basically everybody on the team. With Murphy, DeLarngy, it was Levinsky, Martin. Everybody was getting involved, except for Nate Gordon, who was pretty much quiet until the Warriors break the 7-0 run on points off of Bryce Benjamin coming off the bench. And then finally, we heard from Nate Gordon, who scores a point in the paint, gets to the free throw line, and converts the three-point play. That's where the half would end. Warriors trailing 16-10, only 10 points in the first half.
I got to be honest with you here, guys. The Falcons had an all-around offense that the Warriors were still trying to figure out until that last quarter. And it was so difficult for the Warriors to figure out since the Falcons were playing offense all around, whether it was in the paint or on the outside in the three-point range. The Falcons were sinking threes from the corners left and right that the Warriors were stuck almost in glue in a mouse trap. And they couldn't really do much from that point. And the Warriors were trying to figure that out, and they figured it out a little bit too late. But then the Warriors still kept that fighting in the previous quarters. And overall, we're just trying to keep pace with Deer Park as the Falcons were to us.
Quarter number 3, back and forth action. Then the Warriors would chip into that lead with a 5-0 run of their own. After a couple of missed free throw opportunities, though, Deer Park would go on its largest run of the game, an 8-0 run, ending the third quarter and starting the fourth quarter. And from that point on, there was really no looking back. Give the Warriors credit. Their offense got going at the end. Their defense started allowing some points in the paint. So where the defense was unable to get the job done towards the end of the game, despite the offense picking it up, too little, too late, as the Warriors fall to 48-38. They fall 48-38. They fall to 7-3 and 3-1 on the season.
During this game, I think it was overall just a clash of time, especially in that last quarter. The Warriors just weren't able to score with that little amount of time left.
So we have a surprise for you right now here on the postgame show, as Coach Jack Agostino has been nice enough to come back out here and join us, as he is with our very own Erin Kruder, who is on the sidelines, and she's getting ready. As soon as she's set, we will hear from the coach to speak about his team's 48-38 loss this evening. And all right, Erin is ready. And so we send it over to Erin Kruder on the sidelines with Coach Jack Agostino, as Agostino just talking to some of the fans here. A lot of people very excited to see him back. Great crowd on hand today, Lucas, but unfortunately they will be leaving disappointed. Amityville back in action real soon, as they will be taking on East Hampton tomorrow. But for now, let's go to the sidelines with Erin Kruder.
All right, I'm Erin Kruder with the Broadcasting Network. I'm here with Coach Agostino after this loss of a game. I should ask you a few questions. So what factors do you think played a part in today's game?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
What factors do you think played a part in today's game?
We really struggled scoring, and I said it in the pregame, we're good defensively, we're pretty solid, didn't give up as many points, but our offense just wasn't there today.
Yeah, true. And how can your team build up on this loss to prepare for your next games?
Well, it's all about our practice. Tomorrow's the biggest practice of the year. We have to come in here with the right mindset. We got to make sure we execute our offense and be able to make those open shots.
That's correct. All right. Thank you for your time. See you later. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Aaron, and thanks, Coach Agostino. We appreciate it. So you heard it right there. There's no reason to panic. Agostino even mentioned it to us in the pregame show that it's early in the season. There's a lot of work to be done. You take it one day at a time. Today didn't go Amityville's way. Tomorrow they'll practice hard and be ready to come out for their next game.
I'm going to tell you now, Agostino might be having them run a lot tomorrow after this loss, but that's all in preparation for the next upcoming game that could go either way throughout the season. That's the common theme, that Agostino isn't worried about the losses. He uses those losses just to build up with his team and uses their chemistry within the losses to build and just become better as a group.
Final thoughts, Lucas, before we get out of here for the evening.
My final thoughts is that, again, it really just came down to a time game for both the Warriors and Falcons. If there was supposedly a magical fifth quarter, who knows where that could have gone. And overall, I think we're going to see in the next few games by the Warriors that there's going to be a whole new change of both offense and defense.
Well, certainly the Warriors are going to have to regroup, go to the drawing board, but you know that they're going to come out strong in their next contest. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us here. Amityville will be next in action on January 10th as they visit West Babylon. That's a 5 p.m. tip. But as for tonight, the Warriors fall to Deer Park by a final score of 48-38. The Warriors fall to 7-3 overall and 3-1 in league play, dropping into second place. For Lucas and Aaron, I'm Matt Gray saying, have a great night. We'll see you next time on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
AmityvilleWarriors.com for upcoming broadcasts and events. This has been a presentation of Warriors Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.